Welcome, welcome everyone. This is Chopping the Biz. I am your host, Loso the Barber.
Yes, I'm Mark, the Mark of Genius.
And we have a special guest today by the name of Kelly. This is a gentleman that, I met and I reached out to him, and I'm so glad he could be on this interview with us today because I was inspired by what he was doing, working with high school students, and I wanted to be a part of that. Those conversations led to other things, which led us to here, where we're at today. We're going to, speak with Mr. Kelly about, the ins and outs of barbering, the business side, and attain the knowledge that he's going to definitely bestow upon us. We're glad to have you, man.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. I'm honored, gentlemen. I've been excited about this since, it was proposed. And as you said, Brother Los, we've had many a good conversation. And as I've mentioned, I'm not going to puff your head, brother, but you're a substantial dude. So if you're rocking with Mark, he must be the same. So
let's go.
Hey, you know what's funny? I was about to say the same thing to you, man. I was going to say the exact same thing to you as my intro to, introduce myself, because during these times we can't, meet each other in public and, get a good vibe for each other and respect each other and look each other in the eye. But
right.
I was going to say the same thing to you, man. Like if Los roll with you, I'm rolling.
All right, then.
Respect.
So let's dive in, Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Please tell us where your shop is located at.
I work out of a couple locations.
Okay.
I'm co-owner of Hilife Barbershop, North Hollywood, all the way from New York, and we propped up a spot over here. Both my partner and I had moved from New York, so we just took our hustles out here. So we're on Burbank and Lankershim. I also have a private suite in Glendale I work out of. Up until this happened, I was mostly working out of there. Just because that's just kind of the evolution of my barber career. And I also do other things in Glendale. So location and proximity, that was helpful. And the last location is closer to downtown in the city of Vernon, in a loft space where we do everything from group wedding situations, small group education, and private, private VIP stuff too. So
is that where you was at? Is that where you was at yesterday when we was talking? The other day we was talking, it looked like he was in a loft.
That's where I'm at now. Like, this happens to be the messiest corner, but hey, whatever, under promise and over deliver. So when they come in and see the other side, it looks a lot better.
All right, bet. Next question. What's your favorite haircut to do and why?
Well, you just jump. Oh, okay. You gonna throw that on me like that?
Go straight out the gate. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be honest. As a Gemini, I have problems making decisions because I want some of this and I want some of that. So one of my favorite cuts to do before it was even really in style was a comb over. I like a mid fade. I can go high if you really want me to, but I like that mid. It'll drop. And I'm a proponent of leaving that hair on the side of the part, because we've been shaving all that off and doing this whole shave up to the hair and then the hair pop over. And it's kind of like, I've had many a conversation with barber brothers and sisters about how we've ended up with what haircuts are looking like right now. And I'll stand out on a crispy, about to break off a limb and tell you some of this stuff ain't right. It ain't geometric, and it's not the transitions aren't fluid on the fade, A lot of these quick, abrupt fades, I complain when I see them a little bit. And that's kind of like what our younger clients are looking for. And I think because the standard has been changed a little bit, we can get back to that later, but I'm definitely on a comb over, and I'm not necessarily about the hard part. I think a natural part has more mileage on it. I try and lead my clients in the direction of more mileage, how a cut will last longer. But some want that hard part. I can do that too. I mean, we do it all.
Bet.
I love it. Los, what's your favorite cut?
My favorite haircut, I would say the Kroger. I would say an all even cut. That's always been my favorite cut.
To do or
it's just about an all even cut and putting a lineup on it. If not that one, I would say the ball fade. The ball fade. The ball fade.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Mark?
It's got to be the ball fade. I love a taper just for myself, but a ball fade to me is that cut that shows your skill level.
Mm-hmm.
It's like shooting a deep 3-pointer or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
right.
You can set yourself aside.
Subtleties to perform a whole bit, right?
Yeah, I never forget, man. This is funny. Jump off subject real quick, and we got to get back on. I never forget when I really started getting like my confidence in, like, oh, I can cut. I saw this guy coming to check on my neighbor, and he had a cold ball fade. And I walked up to him, and I tried to give him my business card, and I was like, it's a cold ball fade, but I want that fade. Like, I want all that problems right now. Like, I can do this, man. And he turned around, and he had a design on the other side that I was like, oh no, I can't do that. Like, I'm not ready. You know what I mean? So I had to bow down to his barber, like, no. I thought I wanted them problems, but now seeing what real talent is, I got to step my game up again. That's funny you said that, but yeah, just ball fade, man. It definitely shows, it gives you that confidence in who you are. So quick question, man. What inspired you to become a barber? What inspires you to become a barber?
It's a couple of things. One's more comical than the other. You know, my dad cutting my hair when I was young. It was awful. Awful, man. It was just terrible. So I think when I became of age to go, you know, get my own haircuts, high school time, you know, get your little money up. And, you know, when I was living in New York, I used to go downtown to the Village, go down to Astor Place. And they had at the time, this is late 80s, mid 80s. Wow, early mid 80s. Sorry, y'all. And they had 3 floors worth of barbers, and a lot of them didn't even speak English. But they was in there cut. These dudes, a lot of them were Italian. And they were in there just, it was like, I can't really describe it. Anyone who's been there, they know what it was. Like, it was organized chaos. And whoever barber you could get, because it wasn't about, I want to go to my man unless you want to wait for hours, like that kind of thing. So you get in with who you can get in with. And these dudes are doing tricks. Like, this dude used to fade my hair from top to bottom. It's like, I'm going to fade it from top to bottom. I was like, yeah, all right. And he did. It was amazing. Like, I've never seen the kind of stuff that was coming out of there. And it just spoke to me like, these barbers are so into their craft where it's noticeable. And what I was also impressed by is they don't have to speak English to know your wants and needs regarding a haircut. Like, we would sign and do, you know, do whatever you got to do, and that cut was going to come out. Oftentimes, you know, close to or better than what you wanted. And I was just impressed with the game. I was, you know, as you sit back and you watch barbers, it's like, look at them, you know. And at the time, when I was really getting into it, or really becoming interested, I was in school for graphic design. And there's always a barber in the college dorm or something, you know. So I had like 3 of them. I had 2 dudes on the basketball team and another dude who was in fashion. And I would just borrow somebody's clippers, you know, to try it out. So I tried cutting myself. Who's the best victim? And it came out okay. And the rest is seriously downhill. Like, I'm humbly self-taught. Like, I've never been to school except to gain my paperwork and be right with the state, you know. But I just for love of it, I did it, you know. So I cut with both hands for the most part. And barbering has always been that thing where I can be a part of somebody's happiness. And I think that's what kept me there, you know, because when I was maybe a more angry young man, because I'm older now and I've calmed down a bit, that I can get into somebody's happiness, that was big for me. Because you can leave your mentality for a second and get into somebody else's. So I've made a habit of that for like over 30 years, you know. If I'm cutting you, Mark, then I'm talking about what's going on with you. And I get to put myself on the back burner you know, and
All about it.
you put your full energy into your client, and it's going to come back in ways that you have no idea, you know. So like when you said you walked with somebody, gave them the business card, I stopped doing that a long time ago. I'd rather tell somebody, yo, your cut is amazing, and I'll just step off. Because I'm going to get mine anyway. I just want to let that dude know, let your barber know, somebody in public let you know, you know? Because I love those texts. Somebody hit me on the street like, yo, who cut you? I just smile like, that's what's up. That means I did what I had to do that day, you know?
Me too. Yeah.
Right.
I love the referrals, man. Like the way the people come to me, you know, when I get mothers that say, oh my goodness, I've been seeing, you know, your son's, I mean, you know, my son's friend's haircut, and I just want my son's haircut like that. Or, you know, I can tell the quality of it, and, you know, we just want to try you out, or, you know, and I'm like, let's do it.
What better feeling than that? That's great.
Man, that's everything. That's everything.
Referrals, man, and a lot of people do not realize how much bartering and referrals. Barbers don't understand the power of barbering. I mean, of bartering and referrals. Like they don't put enough energy into that, you know. And like I said, just like you said, man, I put my card away. I put it right back in my pocket. I was like, man, your barber's the man. I don't want none of those problems.
Right. But like you said, when I see it in the street and it's amazing, it just makes me, you know, like, okay, I got to make sure like that I come with it, you know, because we all have those bad days and days you just didn't really feel like cutting. And as a barber, you don't cut, you don't eat, you know. Show me the person that has a different kind of plan and they're linked into a larger corporation. But for the most part, barbers are out there just making their fortunes one head at a time, paying their bills one head at a time, right?
If there's no other industry that literally lives by the mantra that I eat with my hands, we are that.
Seriously.
Like with our hands.
That's right.
Man, that's why you gotta take care of these hands too, man.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Real talk.
Get those hands out, exercise.
That you say that, I was starting to get arthritis.
You know,
and it was affecting in here. Like I had pain and I couldn't do things. I couldn't get that swivel when I'm doing these corners. I couldn't, you know what I mean? So like I'm privately to myself like, oh man, it's like gonna start to slow my career. Is it gonna mess up my volume? You know, I got this whole thing set up and it's like clockwork. And I started putting like CBD lotion in those areas.
Yeah.
And I also started making sure I drink more water. And like, I don't know what I was doing because I don't like the gym. I hate the gym. So I'm not great in the gym as far as like, you know, total physical activity. But I started feeling better. Like whatever I was doing, you know, the pain started to subside and I felt better. So maybe it's a seasonal thing. Maybe it's an age thing. I couldn't really tell you, you know, but
it's probably a little bit of
every
both.
day.
Probably a little bit of both. And what's funny is that like this time I haven't cut in close to 2 months now. And I've been actually sitting more now and feeling like the knots in my hands. Like I have this knot.
It's a sedentary situation. Right.
Yeah. Like I didn't even realize was there because I'm always constantly going, you know, doing what I do, using my hands. But I'm like, oh, wait, why didn't I feel this before? You know? So I've got 2 knots. Yeah. You know, arthritis and muscle spasms.
Stretching is amazing too. Stretching, you know, I started doing stuff like this.
Stretching and icing. Yeah, I've been working.
Yeah.
Like just like push down on it. You know what I mean? You feel your fingers stretch.
Real tough.
Push out on it.
Oh, I never did that one.
You know, and I have it. I'm not gonna run and go get it right now because I totally respect the time. But there's like a hard ball that I got from like a physical therapist, and I put that on the desk, and I roll these muscles along it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I get tight up in here, and I just fell on my bike the other day, and you know I was like, I'm glad I'm not cutting right now. This would have hurt performance. Oh yeah, you saw the strawberry on the knee.
The DNA.
But I'm live.
Man. But fellas, I also use this vice right here too, man, to strengthen like my.
Keep one of those in the car. That's right.
I got this right here. This helps out, and to be totally honest with y'all, I ordered me a wrist brace today. Because, you know, I'm doing a lot of this with my wrist. So besides the stretching and everything and this vice, man. You know, when I go to sleep at night, I can put it in that wrist brace and, you know, keep it the way it needs to be. That way I can, and then ice and as well, applying ice and heat to it.
It's no understatement that since we're on our feet and for us to perform at high level, our physicality has to be up to par, you know? That's inside and out. So it's all we can do to just stay healthy through these years, you know? I feel blessed. I mean, there's people that are with all types of, you know, health issues at my age. I'm about to be 52 in a little bit, you know?
What?
Yeah, man.
What's up, man?
Yeah. And congrats.
Congratulations, homie. Congratulations, man. That's a lot of people ain't able, man, and it's really unfortunate. But you know, we are truly blessed, you know, before these times and through these times.
Yes.
So as we move along, Mr. Kelly, I'd like to know a lot more about Hilife. I know it originated in New York. What inspired you, whether it was yourself or with your partners, your business partners, what inspired you guys to open a shop?
Well, Hilife was the sequel to Hipost, which is a label I still rock with on for items and clothing and things like that. It's kind of like, I call it the parent concept for how Hilife was born. So Hipost was erected in '93, and we sold mixtapes and T-shirts and cut some hair, and it was like, what is that, you know? And I just figured
that's what's up.
It was a smart triple play for, you know, because if somebody's going to come to your business, you want to try and hit them with more than one thing that they need, right? So at the time, early '90s, we need our mixtapes. I need a cut. I may as well get a shirt for the night, that type of thing. So I figured I covered all the bases. I had a lot of problems with that shop, not the shop as a business. I was on a block that was heavy traffic with fast business. And even though that fed my economy in a sense, it became unhealthy for me to try and move forward. So I ended up having to leave that location because I was sort of being, I was about to be, you know, in conflict with not only the landlord, but the police department and people in the city. And in New York, if they find that you have some undesirable activity in your business, they'll put a red card in your file and you can never really rent a space again as a business. I was like, okay, I guess I'll quit. I'll just quit. I quit. You know, y'all got me. You know, I was thoroughly discouraged. And I guess within a year and a half later, we were able to find another spot. And I call it Hilife because for me, it's the same kind of concept, but even more specific to, I believe that I can, for the common man, provide a lifestyle of not so much a lifestyle, but an experience of luxe and pampering and good treatment. And I'm so down for the common man that that's kind of like my mission, you know? I love good restaurants and I like expensive cars, but like, I'm not wealthy, man. You know, I just work hard. And I almost feel like, guilty for some of the pleasures I've been able to enjoy because the common man doesn't always get that. So if I can deliver that in a haircut and an experience, and then I feel I'm doing a good thing. And it comes from an authentic place. It's not like it's not a show.
Everything
is the best I can. But if you come see me, Mark, like, I mean, we're gonna have a good conversation. And if you were to become a regular customer, it's because of our relationship. Because a lot of people can cut. There's a lot of blazing lineups out there, but I tell my students it's a 50-50. It's half your cut and half the relationship because we're in the happiness business and we're building relationships.
Right.
And that's where those referrals come in, you know, because we end up being friends. As Los and I were talking the other day, we started getting invited to weddings and stuff like that. It's like, I didn't know we were that close, but like we've shared some conversations that these folks have not shared with their other friends and people at home.
Mm.
So we are the unspoken therapists. We're a lot. Are we essential? Right, we are, babe. But that's a whole other conversation. Yes. Yeah.
Man, I have been having a couple of. I can only do so much because I'm working on my own programs and things, you know, on my own. But I've tried to make a few phone calls a day and just check on some, you know, some of my real clients. You know what I mean? Like more than clients, like my real friends. And over the years, I've also been able to weed out certain clientele that didn't deserve me. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you know, it's 50-50, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be reciprocated. But no, man, everything you said is absolutely genuine and humble, man. And that's the righteous mentality to have in this industry, because it's, you know, I'm closer to you. Like, this is the therapy couch, man.
Mm.
These people really break down, and like, I've had people cry in my chair over things that they're going through. I've had people tell me things, like you said, that aren't telling anybody else. And it's
Let me tell you,
way more than a haircut.
You have clients cry in your chair. I've had the same, but I've also, you know, had to like get my stuff together as I'm talking to a client, because the stuff we talk about is so fucking real. You know, these are my friends, B. This is like, I left my clientele in New York to come out to California in 2006. So I came out and I was a nobody. I'm nobody, you know? So, you know, you have to build it all over again. So people who've been rocking with me since like, some of these people since like 2006, 2007, because, you know, you put that love on their neck and you know you got them, right? So people have been rocking with me since. So the stuff we share is so genuine. It's so real. It's so, I got kids, man. And a lot of my clients have kids. So I'm quicker to share my stories because I feel they're points to learn by, you know? And I also share it to get the fuck off my chest, because the shit twists me. You hear me? Like, I mean, I got 4 kids, and even when they become adults, it doesn't get easier. It just gets kind of strange. So what I'm saying is, I am enriched and more than blessed just to have those folks come see me, you know, because I'm getting paid to have conversations. Like, I see my man, I haven't seen you since last week, but how's your family and whatnot? So yeah, those check-ins, they pay me for this? Are you kidding? Hey, show me life better than this. I would like to have some insurance benefits coming from the barbering angle, but show me a life better than this. You know what I mean?
Dude, one of my big homies, man, and mentors, he always says, the haircut is free. The conversations is what you paying for.
Okay. That's right.
We're therapists. We wear so many different hats, man. That's another thing, man. It's
and
like,
we take that home with us. And we got to deal with
barbers charging.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What you say?
No, I was just thinking out loud, but go ahead. You got the floor.
Oh, okay. So I was just thinking, like, man, anybody who, you know, has loyal clients, and if you're charging your loyal clients more than what you normally charge them, you're a fool. You're a fucking fool, because that's how you eat. If anything, you got to be checking on your clients, sending them text messages, whether they paying you or not. That's your fault. You got to check on them and make sure they straight. And that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been shooting texts to a lot of my loyal clients and checking on them. If it's not this week, I'll do it next week. But I try to make sure I do it week to week. That way we still close connect. So when everything is lifted, we can get back to business and go from there, because there's a lot of people, they ain't even coming outside. A lot of people, they're not about to be in 6 feet of nobody.
Right.
And I understand that, but it costs you nothing to shoot a person a text and see how they doing, they family doing, on some genuine shit. Like, it don't got to be about money all the time. You know what I'm saying? So
it's really not.
It's straight, man. Take care of them.
It's really not, man. I had a couple clients lose their job a few times, and I was like, look, this is what we're going to do. I know you ain't got it like that right now. It's unemployment. This is what you got. Look, I'm going to cut it down to, you know, half my rate, because I can't have you out here looking homeless. Otherwise, you're not going to get no job.
Right.
So, you know, let's do it like this for a while. And, you know, when you get back on, you know, it'll be fine. So, you know, you got to work with people, man. And it's a beautiful opportunity.
Well, Mark, no, let me cut you off. You don't have to work with people, because there's some barbers that don't.
You're right. I don't have to, but
the fact that you do, you'll be remembered for that. Because when the money comes and goes. But how are you gonna be remembered? That's important to me. There's more than $1 out here.
And that's what integrity is. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite things. Like, what are you doing when nobody's looking?
If you're chasing the dollar, you lose track of the fact that you have bankers in your chair that have information for you. You have realtors. You have, you know, all the brains of the community in your chair. And the more stand-up you are, the more stand-up your clients. And I can't even, I mean, I don't know what to say.
I know what you're saying.
I start getting passionate about it, because
I hear you, man.
They complain like, oh man. I'm like, do you see what you have in front of you? You know, like
they don't.
You got to nurture that, and it's not about there's no suck noises going on behind my chair. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a mutual thing. I'm doing for you, you're doing for me. And it's a really good relationship. I've been able to make a good balance of it, you know.
Good, man.
As I've been doing it over these years, you know. When you're a little younger, you're not sure who you are to the client or who the client is to you, you know. But you start to find your place after a while. I think I found it.
That's dope, man. I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need to get your contact, man, real soon. We need to have a talk. I would love to definitely what they say, imitation is the highest form of flattery. I would love to do what you're doing.
Gotcha.
Hey, that's another thing. That's why it's so important that we are able to have this podcast and us just talk as men. And it just network. You know what I mean? It just make sure everybody's good. So, man, it's good that Mark even wants to do that. And I know, Mr. Kelly, I know you open to that because you about that life. But we got to make each other better. We like this huge fraternity, man. And as we help each other, so does the industry go. And right now, it's probably at like 2.6 billion and growing. So it's the roof is already off as far as barbering is. Right. And it's growing. It's growing as we speak. And we in quarantine times. It's still growing.
Right. Speaking of quarantine times, I mean, I'm not sure what you have on the menu, you know, for conversation, but it's so much on my mind, not just because this thing has fallen upon us, but because I'm in the midst of working on 2 websites. I just linked up with Squire.
Let's go, Mr.
And I'm building just our regular standalone shop site, which will lead you to the Squire situation. Now, doing these at the same time, it's a lot. And just to be honest, I had to pause for a second, like, do I want to let this out? But like some of my younger barbers, they weren't really feeling the new program, you know? They weren't feeling us trying to move into a power play situation. We can do the mom and pop thing. I've done that one, you know? And there's no money in that. It's not about getting rich. It's about let's eat, you know? Like let's pool our resources and make this thing for real. There's different states of mind out here, as we already know, but the divide between certain belief systems is becoming wider and wider, you know? And I feel there's gonna be a big, you know, to put it, and I was telling Los the other day, to put it in pimp terms, folks is choosing out here right now. Like my young apprentice, who will go unnamed, folks are hitting him up, you know, like, yo, can you cut me? Can you cut me? So he's cutting a few of them. He doesn't have the skill set quite like that, but, you know, he can get them by. Now, I just wonder about the folks' state of minds who are really pressing for that cut. Why do they want it or need it so bad? And, you know, I wonder about that because I'm not taking clients, you know, and I'm letting my hair grow, look on some, you know, trying to look like, you know, I'm down with the program. I see you, Mark, you know. Los over here looking pretty like he just stepped out the video. Me and you look like we escaped from somewhere.
Hey, I used to stay with a fade, man. Los will tell you I used to stay with a bald fade, man. I haven't cut my hair, man. I don't know when's the last time. It's going crazy.
But like, what you know, what's it gonna be when we come back? Because I'll be honest with you, and I'm a little thrown by how bad we want to get back into the shop. I know we got to pay these bills, but don't send me and my community back to the front lines before we really know what we're dealing with. Did a piece of me think that this is a hoax? Yeah. Do I see a lot of more people recovering than passing? Yeah. But by the same token, I don't know enough about it, you know, so I try and keep healthy mentally and physically as best I can and stay away from stuff and not be uncomfortable in society to people, meaning I put my mask on when I'm around people. Because when I ride my bike, I'm not wearing my mask. When I'm in my car by myself, I'm not wearing my mask. You know what I mean?
I don't get why people wear masks when they in their car. That blows my mind. Like, who are you?
You're self-distancing already. Like, what's
right? You're in your car. You know what I mean? So what is the landscape to be? We don't know. People talk about, we're about to open up in a couple of weeks. This is California. Anybody who's listening from another state. But California phase 3 is going into effect. We don't know when, you know? Who really knows?
No, we don't.
And that we're pressing for that. And some people feel our industry is under attack. Am I wrong to not feel like that? I don't feel like that.
You don't feel like our industry is under attack?
No, I don't.
Oh, I've seen several things online, and it really disturbed me. I mean, I'm talking about, I don't know if these were just germaphobes ranting or people who are on the front lines already, but they're like, oh my God, y'all are begging for hair, shops to be open again when that's the worst place you can possibly be in. And that's absolutely the place where you're contracted. I'm like, what?
Wow.
I'm seeing that. Like, people are putting that out. I'm like, that is so wrong.
That's beyond wrong. That's crazy.
They don't know what we know. They
don't
understand.
know what we know.
They don't understand that this is science. And this part of the science, ladies and germs, you know what I mean? Like, this is what we have to learn. California State and most states are teaching you how to be clean before they teach you anything about a damn fade. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is not what you have to worry about. You got to worry about the misinformation.
The misinformation. And that's so important because we had to go through so many hours. And they don't understand. That's why there are so many bad barbers out there, because school is not about learning how to cut.
Those are hustlers acting like barbers.
Exactly. Barber school and passing the state board exam to become a professional, if we have a license, it's all about client protection. Right. We're spending so much more time on client protection than anything else. It's not even funny. Like, that's why there's so many bad barbers out there. Like, you don't learn how to cut in barber school.
No.
They're like, figure that out on your own.
Right.
When they tell you what communicable diseases you can contract and then pass on and then get sued for or die from, I was like, okay, I'm focused.
Right.
Okay,
right.
It's not a game. I must wear gloves. I will sterilize. I'm not playing with this. Like, I have my combs. I have $100 worth of combs. You know how cheap combs are? I have $100 worth of combs just so I don't touch the next person with the same comb.
Oh, of course not.
And this is prior to.
Yeah. I have a ceremony with my combs. I've never shared with anybody except my son.
Boom. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties, but we're back now.
Because in California, you got to let folks know they're being recorded. So we were talking about combs, and I told you I had a ceremony for my combs. It's more of a ritual, and I've never told anybody about this except my son, because my son used to help me in the shop. So, you have all these dirty combs, and these combs end up in the jar. So, in taking the combs out of the jar, I'm rinsing them off, but I take each comb one by one. I don't take a stack of combs and try to rinse them off and then throw them back in the situation. I take one comb at a time and rinse that comb, because that comb is going to get me that next money, whatever my fee is. And as many combs as I have times that fee, I'm just kind of like, oh, because that comb is going to get used for that money. That comb is going to get used for that service. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm almost putting it into the atmosphere, the essence that I am going to make this money back again, So I spend a little time with my comb. Plus, I want to make sure there's no gunk in the teeth. You hear me? Like, you know what I mean? Folks come in with the gel and the strange. Like, I try to listen. I don't promote DAX and that sort of stuff. I'd like us to be using things that aren't so heavy on our scalps, because I want our scalps to breathe. And
they produce,
yeah, product wise. But like combs, I take care of these combs. When I break a couple teeth, when they're looking too ill, I toss them. But I feel bad about that comb, because that comb helped me. That comb was a part of my travels. So I'm real emotional about my combs. I hate cleaning them. It's a pain in the butt. But as I'm doing it, I'm like, next piece of money, next piece of money, next piece of money, because it is,
I have a similar situation with mine, man. And Los knows. We had a conversation about it not long ago, and he was like, "Man, like, you really go in on these combs, man." I was like, "It's not a game." And not only that, what I started doing was, I got so busy. I don't want to say busy. I got so productive. I got so many clients by the grace of God that it got to the point where I would pay my daughter to clean them properly. So I'd be cutting and she'd be in the sink, and I'm like, okay, baby, no. Make sure you use this liquid get all that hair off their comb first, soak them in this container, let them sit there, then rinse them again, then set them in the disinfectant, then rinse them again, then dry them off, and then put them in sanitized. Like, it's not a game. Like, you really must pay attention to everything when it comes to each comb, because like you said, like, every comb has a story.
Yes. And part that being part of, you know, your good practice, the best practices for barbers, being clean. You know, I have these routines also where I'm cleaning my tools in front of the client. You know, Curtis Smith talks about that sort of stuff. If a shop and a barber and, you know, folks in are doing the right thing, then ain't nothing really changing except whatever regulations they want to drop on. If people had bad practices, then they got a hump to get over, because now all that dusty shit you've been doing, you can't do it anymore, because now clients are watching you. You know what I mean? I mean, I watch, because I like to go to different cities and get haircuts. If they screw it up, I'm gonna fix it anyway. You heard? But I want to see what practices are in Phoenix, in Texas. You know what I mean? In Miami. So I go to barbers. If I can get a referral, cool. I'll go to other shops and work just for the day. It's not about the money. I just want to. I want to touch the landscape. I want to go to Italy and cut in a shop where no one understands me, because I'm nice like that as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? But it's the brotherhood that I got the balls to do it. People respect that shit, and they're just like, yo, I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you too. Like, you know, we out here. It's a beautiful thing. It doesn't really, you know, when you can make some money and warm your heart too, hey, man, no complaints.
Priceless,
I'm in a blessed place, man, you know?
Priceless, man. Priceless. Literally.
Real quick, gentlemen, being behind that chair, man, is everything. It's there for me. It's therapeutic to be able to, you know, deal with a canvas and, you know, really tap into your artistry and allowing yourself to hone in and create exactly what your client wants. And to be able to just put that smile on their face, man, is everything. You know what I mean? And then them coming back and you constantly getting better and better at that exact haircut, to where now you're on autopilot. You know, you're not even thinking about much, so you just going through the motions and you creating that haircut. But I want to say this real quick, gentlemen, before we move to anything else. I want to give this man a moment of silence. Armand Arbery, who was murdered today, gunned down in Georgia, running, jogging on his own. Just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time and was gunned down by a father and son who they thought he was, I guess, someone who was robbing people in the area. So I'd like to give this gentleman a moment of silence, please, gentlemen, if you will, with me. Yeah, you got anything, you can go ahead, brother.
I say. Man.
I'm touched by that. And,
that
would be the subject of conversation in and around our community, in our shops. You know, we're talking about it on phones and over social media, but stuff like that touches us, especially barbers of color, you know, especially barbers in an urban setting. But we're all aware of these things happening, and it's hurting me, man. It hurts.
Imagine what his barber feels like right now, you know? Like, that man is hurt, like, let alone mother, father, children. Like, we got connections too, you know what I'm saying? That hurts our spirit to lose people, you know? I've got, man. But yeah, peace and love, man. I pray his family as well. My condolences to the family and all the people that are hurt across the world by this. But man, that sucks.
At some point, we have to close the season because they can't hunt us.
Right.
They continue to hunt us. It's got to stop. I don't have the answers for it, but you know, I feel I'm just one drop in a big bucket of collective feelings, and many of us feel this way. You know what I mean? So we got to close the fucking season. I can't hunt us anymore.
I don't have the answers, but I got a couple suggestions. So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's just a sad case right now, man. And just, you know, heart goes out to his family.
Man, condolences, man. That sucks. That was ugly, man. Don't nobody deserve that, man.
No. And it's going on, you know, that's the one, that's stuff we've seen. There's plenty of stuff going on that we don't see. You know, I'm pretty heavily connected to, you know, my people's back in New York, and, you know, seeing some of that stuff go on, it's just amazing to me what's going on. And a close friend of mine, you know, he brings up the you know, something to think about. It's food for thought that there's something that's even bigger than racism, and it's classism. You know, I don't know which one is bigger depending on the week, but they both go to work hand in hand to be dividers of us in society.
I would say classism. Classism, because that's elitism. So elitism rules racism, which rules. It's a pyramid scheme. You know what I'm saying? Like the top, the elite, they want to control the masses, and that's just kind of how it goes down. You know.
They want to control the ones at the bottom who don't have the resources that they have, and they control you by controlling the resources. So you control the people who are under you, because they're always going to need those resources.
Right.
Therefore,
you know. So it's a book that I'm reading right now about economics that really expresses a lot on how it got started, you know, the full understanding of what racism is, and you know how people have been benefiting from it, and the ones who are less fortunate that gets the ugly end of the stick. But to all of those who are not benefiting from it, people of color, I'm just be 100 with you. You got to find your way out. You got to find your way through that path, and you got to find what's going to drive you and what's going to get you to where you want to be. Because you got to be that one person. It only takes one of us to make it out. And then when you make it out, you reach back and you start pulling forward. But that's how you got that situation, man. So you got to be able to do that and do it with the ones that you feel can make a difference after you've gone. So you got to hand that, you got to pass that baton to someone who's going to be a mover and shaker just like you, you know?
Yep.
Let me say something. One of my mentors always says, pass the baton off to the faster runner. And you just said, make it and reach back. Everybody is not strong enough or capable of reaching back. And it's unfortunate because, and I hate that crab in a barrel analogy. Like, it really irks my soul, because when you think about it, like, be logical. A crab, we're not crabs in a barrel, because a crab, let me say this, the barrel is not a crab's natural habitat. So how else is it supposed to act in that? So if we put in projects and, you know, really financial crisis in our communities, how else are we supposed to act? So I'm not blaming everybody, but what I'm saying is, you know, we will definitely, you know, rise to the top. We definitely gonna come out of this, you know, as a community, you know, better as people. I do believe that.
I certainly hope so. But I certainly hope so.
I have absolute faith in it.
I feel we're almost in a mental war, because it's your mentality. That's the first to either be your strength, or if that breaks down, then everything else will break down underneath it. You know, your mentality will allow you to identify a better thing to do. You know.
Yes.
Talking to Los, he's like, you know, he takes a walk every morning.
Mm-hmm.
4 days ago, I started taking walks every morning. I wasn't even home this morning, but I took a walk where I was at, you know, with my lady. So she's like, where are you going? I'm about to get my walk on, man, so I can loosen it up and get into the day, you know?
Okay.
And she understood the benefit halfway through. She's like, this is what's up, you know? And this is me trying to keep my mentality where it needs to be, because otherwise I become, and I'm being honest, I become angry. I get wound up, I get tense. My shoulders start feeling crazy, you know what I mean? Because I'm on this screen and I'm looking at news, and I start pacing the floor, and I can't go out as much as I wish, and I can't see people I'd like to see. And my money's not what it should be possible. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things going on. So when your mental goes, I think that's the first piece of what has to happen, so that we can be weakened and be told to do whatever we're told to do. And I'm not trying to be told, you know, I'm trying to continue doing what I need to do for myself and the folks that are counting on me, you know what I mean? And those I love, and keep my mental right. But us inside and not earning money, like, how are people feeling right now? We're feeling like shit, you know?
Los, do you want me to tell the Eagle story now or for the next podcast?
We'll do that one for the next one. That's a good one, though. That's a good one.
All right.
But,
we'll talk about that next time.
Right, to hit home about what you were saying, and pretty much the reason why I go for walks, Mr. Kelly, is because, you know, we are in a time where we're boxed in. You know, people are not supposed to be outside, you know, but I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to go outside because I got to get my mental right, and I got to keep my mental right.
Right.
Me going out for early walks, whether it's 6, whether it's 6:30, this is allowing me to vent mentally and really just be better mentally, because I feel like the focal point that you have is your mind. And if your mind is good, you can get through what you're going through. But if your mind is weakened and you trapped in these 4 walls, you don't know what you're capable of doing. You know what I mean? You gotta be in a good space. And by doing those walks, and everything for me is essential. And I recommend that everybody go for walks in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
It's doing a world of justice for me, and thank you for you know, suggesting that, or you know, thank you for you doing what you do so that I can hear about it in conversation, because I had to pick that one up. I pick things up all over the place, like being a barber. I'm in somebody else's shop and I see something they're doing, I'm just like, oh, so that's how you doing that. I take practices from all over. I playfully call it stealing, but I'm just increasing my craft and my repertoire in whatever you know, context it is.
Yeah.
What is it? Being better this week than we were last week?
That part. Yeah, that's the key, man. Daily. Always and always. God always say that.
Absolutely. I love it. So with that said, man, we're going to end off on this note, man. I appreciate your time, man. I love everything that you said. I love the person you are, your whole mindset, you know, about how you do what you do, why you do what you do, and how creative you are, man. I'm just meeting you.
Extremely creative. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Via Zoom, like, just meeting you through here lets me know how genuine you are and how passionate you are about creating, you know, and what you've gone through and what you've been through and where you're going and what you want to do for others, because a lot of people don't want to do for others. But with that said, what is it that I don't know how to phrase this, because you can say it any way you want, whether it's, you know, 3 major points or one main quote. What is it that you would give to the youth, the youngins, the people that, the young man that you are coming into this industry? What would you say to someone that would inspire them to be the best version of themselves in going into this industry? Not just about themselves.
I just had a conversation with my young apprentice a little while ago, and I wasn't nice, you know, because I care deeply about this young man. You know, he took the step to be you know, under my wing as an apprentice as I was leaving the school structure. I was leaving the school district, and he still wanted to rock with me. You know, we had built a relationship in school. He was asking me if I could send him, I'm gonna put your business out there, but I'm not gonna name him. He's gonna ask me if I can send him a sketch of, like, you know, I call it the geometry, of, like, you know, where to sort of, you know, what guards to use in what part of the head, because he's about to try and cut a friend of his today. And I said, hell fucking no.
Figure it out.
You gotta figure that out, my man. Like, handle business. I said, if you're gonna be scared, then I don't know if you're ready to be on my team. And I don't mean to be harsh, my man, but, like, you got to handle that business. And if you can see it, if you can identify that something's wrong with it, then fix it. Then you fix it, you know? But to your question, to answer your question, that's how I get down, you know, because people got down like that with me. Yeah. You know, if we're gonna stroke each other all the time, then we're not gonna be ready for the fight. And I don't mean the fight like, you know, it's not we're not tussling. I'm talking about the fight of life, you know? Like, I call it the life-a-thon. That's what I'm training for. So the answer to your question is each one teach one. They taught me. Folks took time to be like, yo, young man, boom, boom, boom. So I take the time to be like, yo, young man, boom, boom, boom. I take that to heart. I talk to everybody. I talk to homeless folks. I talk to everybody because I've always been built like that.
Nice.
As a little kid, I like to talk to old folks.
Nice.
I mean, but I almost feel honored when somebody wants to talk to me. A little small mechanism within me, the little thing that I tuck away so that I can move through this life, this piece of insecurity that makes me feel like maybe I'm not worth talking to. I feel honored and thankful when somebody wants to spend 30 seconds talking to me. I sitting on the inside, I don't know my value like somebody else wants to talk about my value. You know what I mean? I'm just Kelly, man, trying to make it through. Somebody wants to talk to me, I'm like thankful that they want to talk to me. So I got all that to offer back because I don't want to leave this earth not doing that.
Man, I felt that. I sense the passion. I feel it, man. I really feel it. It's been. Mark, you got anything for us?
Man, I'm done with the questions, man. I just want to keep bigging him up right now. Like you know what I mean? Just keep giving him his props, man. Like everything he's saying is just speaking to my spirit right now, the same way I was talking to you earlier. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, man, being connected and having the opportunity to meet somebody that can sharpen me and give me something to shoot at, you know what I'm saying? Because iron sharpens iron, you know, and I am very, very, very grateful to have had this interaction with you, Kelly, like for real.
Brother, I will show you all that I know. And I'm willing to show anybody. It's like, you know, when you tell that young dude, like, do you want to learn some shit? Meet me at 6:30 a.m. And he's like, oh, I don't really know. And then I'm like, I guess I don't really know then. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I'm about to call you and like.
We are connected, gentlemen. All right?
I'm about to call
this
you.
right here. This is it. My fabric just got stronger from having met you, Mark.
Hey, man, I'm about to call you in a minute, man. I got a few more personal questions. Like, oh,
gotcha.
Hey, this is what Chopping the Biz is about.
Absolutely.
Looking to bring forth connection, man. You know what I mean? If I know him or Mark know him, you know, we just making strong connections and we helping each other because at the end of the day, it's a big fraternity.
Iron sharpens iron.
We all go.
Iron sharpens iron, man. Like
Gentlemen, I appreciate you for having me. I appreciate this conversation because I wasn't in the greatest mood walking into this, and I got an alert on my phone like, you got to go do this Chopping the Biz thing, and I'm just like, let me get my act together because I don't want to be the ogre, you know what I mean? But I'm in a better place now because I'm reminded that life is still golden, man.
Yeah, man. Dude,
so real quick, Mark, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. You got it. You got the floor.
If you need me for anything going forward, if you need me to volunteer, help you out, because I know we had a conversation about doing some things down the road. I'm still open to that. I'm still willing to do that, man. Let's collab anyway, anyhow. I'm with it. I fucked with you on that level, man. Let's make shit happen.
Yeah, man. And I would like to mirror you a couple times, man. Just, you know, be a fly on the wall if you know, got something going at the school. You know, just allow me to come in and, you know, check things out and see what I can, you know, envision for myself. Same way, you know, like you said, I'm not stealing, but you know what I mean? I'm doing it for my community. You know, you can only handle so many people and things in your life. And you have a community and I have one and Los has one. So, and it's 4 million people. I think it's 4 million people in Los Angeles County. I can't cut all of them. I can't teach all of them.
Of course not.
You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. So
plenty of food out here, and you know, when I get back into the classroom in a physical way, and we can start doing the barbering thing again, I would love if you guys would come by and talk to these students and let them know there's real people out here, because that's the greatest example on earth. You know, people that look like us doing what we want to do.
Let's go, man.
Done.
20, go.
Peace and love, man. Respect,
gentlemen. All right.
Peace and love, man. This has been another amazing episode of Chopping the Biz.
Chopping the Biz.
Hey, man, we chop the biz, man. It's more than barbering. It's bigger than barbering.
Absolutely.
Okay? There's a business side. There's an intellectual side. There's a family side. There's a craft to it. there's so much that goes into this that people don't see behind the scenes. And here we are to communicate and put that out there to where barbers as well as clients can understand and bring each other back to what needs to be done.
Connections, bro. It's connections.
Yep, absolutely.
So respect and love. Please comment, post, share, do what you can. Check us out as much as possible. YouTube and Instagram so far. We'll check out some other.
On Instagram, I'm Hipost Images, Hipost Images, one word. And I'm also Hilife Barbershop, HILIFE_barbershop.
Nothing but respect, peace, and love, man. Keep your head up, bro. You a great dude, man. And you got the future is yours, man. You are a pillar in the community. I got nothing but respect for you, bro.
Future's ours, gentlemen. Let's go get it.
Holler at y'all sooner than later, man.